What's up, people? Today we're going to take a look at the Yeedi smart navigation vacuum and mopping robot right after this. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, I'm Kedrick Foster. I do unboxings and reviews of all the latest tech. So if you like that type of content, hit that like and that subscribe button. So first of all, I want to thank Yeedi for sending this out to me to check out. We have a smart navigation vacuum robot. It can do mopping, it can do vacuuming, it can save you some time. We're going to check it out. I actually already have one of the Roomba robots, but I stopped using it because it had problems with finding the base, battery running out mid cleaning and all that type of stuff. So I'm gonna check this one out, see if this one is any better. So let's go ahead and get into the box. All right, so I pretty much had to cut the top of the box off to get it to fit on the table. But so this is what you're presented with. You have your quick start guide, you have your manuals, the robot vac itself, vac and mop. And this is pretty much the same size as my Roomba. It feels premium, has a nice little weight to it. So this is a white unit. The Roomba I have is black. This is like some type of cleaning tool. You have this thing that helps you get into the corner, like a little sweeper. You have your charging base. Comes with a remote, which is different than my Roomba. And that actually could be pretty convenient because right now I have to either go to the Roomba to hit the button, or I have to pull out my phone and go through the app to get it started. So to have a quick remote is a nice touch. And then you have your mop attachment. So you can put water in here, and then there's a mop pad on the bottom, and it actually comes with an extra. And you got your 2 AAA batteries. That's it for the box. So for disclosure on my Roomba that I have, my Roomba is one of the cheaper models. I think I paid about $300 to $400 for it, and it does not have room mapping, and that's one of the things that this one does have. So like if you're trying to vacuum a room, the Roomba pretty much will just randomly go in any direction until it bumps into something, and then it'll turn around and go in another direction. So there's really no plan to it. It's just randomly going back and forth, bumping into stuff. So this one actually has room mapping, which should give you a nice, even, planned out cleaning of your area versus the Roomba that just randomly drives around until it bumps into a wall. Now Roomba, they do have models that do the room mapping and all of that. That's just not the one that I have. So just for disclosure on that. So if you can see here, we have a camera on the top of the unit. So this is actually what they use to map your room out. It shoots up at the ceiling and it maps your room that way. Have your on and off switch there, and I'm guessing that's some type of sensor there, okay? And then on the bottom, of course, you have your wheels. And here's actually the spot where all your dirt goes when you vacuum. And if you take this out like that, they also have the mop attachment. If you need to mop, throw some water in this. Now, what I wish it had, I don't even know if this is possible, but a way to have both on at all times, and the robot senses if it's on a moppable floor versus a carpet. But on this, you have to actually swap it out if you're going to mop versus if you're going to vacuum. All right, so that's pretty much everything that's in the box. We're gonna go ahead and get this set up and see how it works. All right, so the setup is pretty simple. You just plug in the base to the wall, pop the vacuum right on top of it, let it charge up. So what I was impressed with is immediately it starts mapping out your room, and it actually vacuums in a normal way a human would vacuum versus my Roomba that just pretty much bounces wall to wall. No plan, no sense, just random directions, random walls. You'll have crisscross marks in your carpet, and it doesn't even look like it was vacuumed at the end. So I love how this one puts a pattern in your carpet, and you can tell where the vacuum's been. You can tell if it missed a spot or not, and 9 times out of 10, it doesn't. It goes under your couch with no problem. And when it switches over to going on the hardwood, you can hear the motor turns down a little bit, so it's not as loud. So the suction does change depending on what type of floor you're on. And then right back to your base. I tested out on some chips. I spread some chips out on my floor just to see what the section was. You hit your spot cleaning button, and then it's just gonna go in a circle, and the circle will go outward slowly. And it did a pretty good job on that. I was actually pretty surprised on how good it did. So now I'm gonna try the mopping function. So on the bottom, it just has a spot where you can add your water. Adding my water now. Right there, you can see how it dispenses the water onto the pad. It's pretty simple to take out the debris tray. Pretty much just push the button down, pull it out. Take the mop attachment. If I can line it up, there we go. Press it in. And I wanted to see how wet it made the floor, and it was actually like the perfect amount. It wasn't so wet that it'll make somebody slip, but it is wet enough to where it'll pick up things off the floor. Now, one thing that I thought was kind of weird is it doesn't detect that it's already on a floor. Like if you have carpet in there, it will go onto the carpet still. So keep that in mind. It doesn't stay on the hardwood. Doesn't make your carpet too wet, so nothing to worry about there. But just know that it will go onto the carpet when it does have the mop attachment on it. So the first thing that I was really surprised with is the sound. It's practically silent when it's running. And at first when I heard this, I was like, is it even picking up anything? So, I had to, after it finished running, I went and checked the dust collector, and it actually was picking up. Couldn't even believe that it was actually picking it up. So that's also a great benefit of this unit. Another thing is, when I first tried it in my office, I have a area rug on top of another carpet, and it's one of the bigger rugs. It has a little bit of a shag texture to it, and the vacuum would not go up on that area rug. But when I went out into my kitchen, I have another area rug on my hardwood floor in the kitchen, and it's a little bit smaller than that, and it did roll on top of that. So just keep that in mind when you're planning on where you want to run this machine. If you have a higher or a thicker area rug, you might have an issue with the robot getting on top of it. But if you have like a smaller area rug, it went on top with no issue. So after I let it fully charge, I let it run through my whole downstairs area, and that includes my living room, my kitchen, the morning room, my office, and the kids' game room, and the actual foyer of my house. And it actually completed all of that on one battery charge, which I was shocked with. And the most important part was, after it was done, it made its way back to the charger. And I timed it, and actually took 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete my whole first level of vacuuming. And that's a combination of carpet and hardwoods. So I do know that it will adjust the suction based on what type of surface it's on. Also keep that in mind. Another thing that had me a little bit concerned when I saw it in the manual, so I was looking in the manual, and it said to make sure that you keep it away from any surfaces where it could fall off of. So like steps, or if you have an elevation where you step down into a different room, try to keep it away from that. So that made me think that it didn't have, edge detection. So I went and tested that out, and fortunately it does have edge detection. So if you have steps, if you have it on your upstairs level and you have steps and it rolls close to the steps of the edge, it will detect that edge, and it will stop, turn around, and go in a different direction. So when I saw that in the manual, I had a little bit of concern, but rest assured it does have edge detection, and it works pretty well. Now, when I use my Roomba, like I said earlier in the video, the reason that I stopped using it was it will always get stuck. Like at least every 5 minutes I was going to get it out of a jam, had to pick it up and move it. And it was like, it got to the point where, like I said, I just stopped using it. But with the Yeedi, I haven't seen it stuck not one time, and I've ran this for about 3 days in my testing period. About 3 days, and I've let it run until it went back to the base every time, and not once has it got stuck. It does really well with trying to get its way out of certain situations, like the couple times it goes underneath my kitchen stools, but it always finds a way to navigate itself out from underneath of there. So my Roomba actually has a handle that you can use to actually pick up the unit. Although I didn't find myself having to pick up this unit a lot because, like I said, it wasn't really getting stuck as much as my Roomba does. But if I wanted to take it upstairs or take it to a different floor, it would be nice to have that handle on it. So maybe something that they could add in a future iteration. Also, I found it really strange that it didn't have an app. Now I went onto their website, and most of the other units that they sell do have apps, but for some reason this particular model does not have app support. So also keep that in mind when you're trying to decide on which unit you want to select. This model is the K702G, so keep that in mind. This model does not have app support, and it also does not have Amazon Alexa support, which honestly is not as big of a deal as I thought it would be, because with this controller is a lot simpler to me, because all I have to do is take this out, press the play button, and let it go and do its thing. So just also keep that in mind if you want to, implement this into your home automations. Make sure that you grab a model that does have Alexa or app support. This one does not. Another thing to keep in mind, this unit does not have any type of battery indication, so you really don't know what your battery percentage is. Like again, I said there's no app, and there's no indication on the unit itself, so also keep that in mind. But this may not be a big issue, because if your battery is running low, the unit is automatically going to take itself back to the base, charge itself, and then once it's fully charged, it will complete the cleaning cycle. Overall, it's a really nice unit. I'm gonna be honest with you, when I bought my Roomba, I seen a lot of these other brands, including Yeedi. I seen these on Amazon, which were half the price of the Roomba, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get it, because I feel like if it's half the price, it's not gonna work as well. So when I actually tested this out, I was really surprised at the quality of the unit, and for one, how nice it works. Like the self-navigation is awesome, and I love the pattern that it puts in the floor. It just makes it look clean. With the Roomba, it's just doing that zigzag pattern, so it's like it doesn't even look like it's been vacuumed after it's done. So I love that. I love the fact that it's actually making it back to the base after the cleaning is done. Had a huge problem with the Roomba doing that, dying in the middle of the floor, not making it back to the base. Very impressed with the unit. I didn't get a chance to test out the self-emptying capability of this. I'll try to reach out to Yeedi and see if they can send that out to me so I can test that out. I did see it on the website, and I think that's something that will take this unit to the next level, because they do sell the attachment where it will actually self-empty itself. So I'm going to try to get a video on that later on in the channel. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel, and I'll update you when that video is released. But for now, that's going to be the end of this video. I want to thank y'all for watching. If you have any questions about this unit, don't hesitate to drop them down in the comment section. I'll be sure to get to them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.